Welcome to the Chimney and Fireplace Success Network, a weekly broadcast sponsored by CVC Coaching, hosted each week by industry speaker, coach, author, and educator Jerry Eisenhower. Our presentations are produced to assist business owners and managers in turning their business dreams into their business realities. And now, here's your host, Jerry Eisenhower.
And I want to welcome you once again to the Chimney and Fireplace Success Network. We're at episode number 49. This show is sponsored by CVC Coaching. Check out our new online e-learning platform. It's the greatest way to train your people, and you do it on demand on your time frame with a phenomenal listing of fantastic courses, hundreds of hours of training, more than enough CEUs to maintain your certification with no travel in the future. We have courses through all phases and for everybody in your team. Now, today we got another great guest. Our purpose in our podcast is to share ways for you to be successful, to share tools with you that are going to be phenomenal in ways they can move you to a higher level. In each and every episode, I try to bring on someone who can share what they know with you. And this week is no different, except for this is a new member of the CVC coaching and teaching team. Her name is Erin Marcus. And Erin is someone that I just didn't find, but I've actually been with her in some of the coaching and the speaking classes that Cheryl and I have attended over the last couple of years. She's been mentored by some of the same coaches that I participate with. So it's going to be a real good experience because she comes to me highly recommended. And how did this come about? Well, it was the nature of the network because she and I and Cheryl were all at a meeting in Las Vegas, Nevada just a few weeks ago. We're in a group called the Ultimate Business Summit, and we get together once a year as a group, and Erin was there, and we were having dinner and a reception at Scott McCain's house. And Erin and I started up a conversation. Erin said, I'm changing my focus into blue collar. And I said, really? Well, tell me more. So as we put this together over the following week and a lot of conversations, I found out that Erin had the right stuff. And I think Erin discovered that CVC Coaching had the right stuff to help her where she wanted to go and accomplish the things that she did in life. So Erin, are you out there with me and ready to rock and roll with this today?
Absolutely, Jerry.
Okay, so to start with, since no one knows who you are, let's share a little bit about Erin's background and what makes Erin qualified and such a great person to assist home services contractor, what we call the blue collar industry, to make their business dreams into their business realities.
Well, when I think about my background and what I've done, it seems to be this crazy, diverse group of jobs and different types of careers. However, every now and then, it all comes together and starts to make sense. And I think this is one of those times. I started after college managing really large multifamily housing complexes, and you can only imagine the kind of challenges that brings in with plumbing and HVAC and chimneys and you name it. So I had that background for several years. And then I ended up going a more corporate route. And it's interesting how it all just kind of comes together. The one theme was always sales and communications. And I ended up, after a long corporate career with insurance companies and finance companies, I ended up as a business owner myself, which means I've been in that position where I have worn all the different hats, where you've had to be the owner and you've had to be the tech person and you had to be the salesperson. And the piece that I was really always the best at, which is what I'm excited to bring to your team, is the difficult conversations, the sales conversations, and being able to effectively communicate with all the different people involved so that everybody's on the same page and everything can move forward.
And that's great because one of the people that I'm certified and mentored by and coached by is Jeffrey Gitomer. And he's acknowledged as one of the leading experts in sales. He's wrote a lot of books about sales and has trained a lot of people in all kinds of industries for sales. But one of the things that I learned from Jeffrey was that sales is all communication, and it's all the right words, and it's all when it's time to speak, when it's time to listen. You listen to understand, you don't listen to reply. So, where do you see that your background, because part of it is you have a journalism degree, I believe, but your entire background is based in communications, which is probably the number one factor of sales. So, where do you see that you bring this value to the table to a person that may need help with their sales?
Sure. Well, I think the piece that was congruent through most of my different career experiences was the level of difficult conversations. And when I say difficult conversations, I worked with seniors for a long time, helping them downsize out of houses they have been in for 50 plus years into one bedroom apartments. I mean, and that is a hugely difficult situation. And a lot of blue collar service providers, they find themselves where it's not just sales, it's a difficult conversation that they have to have going into somebody's home to take care of something that that person is already worried about, which unfortunately, as we know, can often turn into a bigger deal than that person even realized. And you become the bearer of bad news. And how do you turn that into a service where you're really the bearer of helpful news? And the other thing is, I'm basically your customer. My age, my home, I am basically every customer you have. So rather than just, subject matter expertise is absolutely important, but I've always found, kind of like what you were saying with your Gitmer background, I've always found that you can't just stay in your little niche to get your education and to get your information because you just become too used to it. And being that external person, I will be much more suited to make sure when you're talking to a customer, hey, if I can't understand it, I will guarantee they can't understand it, and be able to identify those opportunities for you where you can connect better, where you can clarify things more accurately for your customers. And when you make that connection, that's what sales is all about.
And that's one of my thought processes I've always used, Aaron, which is in coaching and in sales education. You've always got to think like the customer, and you've always got to talk in a way that the customer understands. And if you don't do that, I call it you're going to put up a wall, and that wall is very difficult to cross. Well, listen, like I said, you and I, we were sitting at Scott McCain's house on the deck just a couple weeks ago, and you mentioned this to me, and I said, hey, let's talk. I think I have an opportunity for here. And from that time, we've gone forward. So tell me why you feel that our team at CVC Coaching is one that's going to help you use your skills and your backgrounds to the ultimate. What brought you to us, and what was your driving force to come to work with us?
Well, Jerry, we've been talking so much lately as we get this whole relationship really started to learn more about each other. And one of the things that I have found is so many of our values, they just line right up. I mean, one of the things that was a constant through all my different jobs was me mentoring people or training people. When I owned my small business, it happened to have been a franchise. Other people would come to Chicago and I would teach them how to do the business. And I know from reading your book about your story and seeing what you do in the industry, not just with your business, but in the industry in general, that you're all about helping people. You really want to help them build their businesses and build their careers. And I that just lined up so well with what I like. And you also just mentioned something about your approach to sales. I'm an educator. I don't teach the takeaway clothes and all these other little tricky things to do to make somebody want to work with you. My entire approach is to make a connection provide education, and let the client see that this is the best thing for them. And I know that that's your approach as well.
Right.
Finally, I would add, it's all about adding value. Bottom line, the number one goal is to add value to your clients and add value to the people who might be your clients. And coming from an authentic place of service, add value to an industry, even if someone doesn't want to become your client. And I think those things align just so well that it made me very excited to find the like-minded group out there that I know I could become a part of.
Yep. And since you joined the team and since we're located all over the country, meeting some of them face to face, you haven't done yet, but you've already been involved in some conference calls. You and a couple of the others had a conference call last week that I was in Milwaukee, couldn't even participate in, but you're seeing the mission of our team from inside, and you're seeing a lot of things of what we do that a lot of people don't even realize what all's there. So what's your thoughts about the mission of CVC coaching and what we do? I mean, I heard part of it, but does this excite you? Do we try to do too much? Do you think we say, hey, are we doing too much? What's your thoughts?
I don't think you could ever do too much, quite honestly. Too many people have an idea and they don't act on them. And you can't really fix something if you don't even get it moving. We used to have wave runners, and you can't steer it if it's not moving. It just sits there and bobs in the water. So you can't really ever do too much. The other thing, though, is because you have this group, like you said, I was on the phone with Cheryl and Brandy. We're having this brainstorming session of what can we be providing? How can we organize it so that we make sure we're not duplicating efforts, but that we're adding to each other's efforts? And how can we get all of this information out to the people who want to use it? And that collaboration is something that I have missed so much in the last few years. As a business owner, sure, I had a great team, but it's not the same as when you're collaborating as an owner. And I think that level of commitment with Brandy and Cheryl and yourself, and just the exchange of ideas, the constant collaboration and the constant of taking action, really, like we keep saying, to help the clients and to help the customers is just so dead on, something I just love being a part of.
Yep. And one of the programs that we launched, and this is where I said I think you're going to be really big and a big part of, and we've got a couple of different names for it. One is our virtual ride-along training process, where we're developing systems where people can record what they're doing in the home, and we're developing a system where they can self-analyze themselves, where they can have the owner manager analyze the presentation, but the higher level is they can send these recordings to you. And then earlier today, we just rolled out to a small group, and we're beta testing right now what we're calling the instant replay, which we're going to be rolling out in the coming weeks. So what this is doing, this is using virtual means, technology, but it develops into something of quality control, coaching, and training like I don't think we've ever been able to do before. So how excited are you about the way we're approaching this, using technology to measure and track and see how people are going, and from that, developing coaching and training programs to take people's team members to a higher level? How's this sitting with you? Do you see the potential here?
Jerry, I think it's a game-changing technology and approach. First of all, let's just put this out there. It's easy technology. It's literally the push of a button of something everyone's already used to. So we don't say technology and you have to worry about it. I mean, this is easy technology. And this is such a game changer for people. I see so many ways to use this. From a marketing standpoint, from a sales standpoint, for the folks that have been on your online education platform, but they haven't yet stepped up to coaching, this is a great way to, put their foot into that water. For the people that you've been more intimate in and where you've been in their businesses, what a great way for a touch up, 6 months later, a year later, to have a check-in and to be able to do this. We're all used to being on camera. We're all used to being recorded. And when you have an actual ride along, and there's tons of value in that, but when you're doing actual ride alongs with your salespeople, what you're seeing is your salespeople on their best behavior. And that's great. And there's some value to that. However, if this technology becomes part of your regular process, everyone gets used to it. And now you get to see where people really are. And what's important, I think, Jerry, you and I have the same approach to this. This is not a gotcha opportunity. This is not an opportunity to catch people doing something wrong. This is an opportunity to provide coaching. And, we talk about who we both get coached from. We get some brutal, brutal feedback, but you understand that it's done with such great intention. You create an environment around this technology that you're just using it to make everybody better and make the business stronger. And I think you're going to see some very big impact in a very quick turnaround time.
That's it. One of the things is with this virtual program, and I think you hit it on the head, people get adjusted to this being here. And when you bring an individual in as a ride-along trainer and put them on the truck, to be honest with you, they're going to be on the edge. They're going to be on their best behavior. This program, after someone has used this for a week, maybe 10 days, they're just going to be adapted to it, and they're going to be operating in their normal environment. And let's give you examples. Erin, you're a trained speaker, right?
Yes.
And you have been through classes and you have mentored with some of the best in the business. You've been under Suzanne Evans coaching training. You've been personally trained by Larry Winget, correct?
For several years now, yes.
For several years. And when she talked about brutal, that's Larry Winget. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and always with the best intention to help me succeed, but brutal is the word for it.
Brutal is exactly. He doesn't pull any punches. But the whole thing is with this, if you and I are going on a stage, you're going to fix your hair perfect, aren't you? You're going to have everything. Everything is perfect. Well, see, that's what happens when you bring in a live trainer to work with you. Your people are not going to perform as they do every day. And this system enables you to have quality control. And again, not from what you said, the gotcha side, but rather this is how you're doing it. And now this is how you can improve if you want to be better. And that's what you got to, that's where this is all about. It's all about people and a determination by your team members that you're going to be better, because that's one of the secrets in this world. You've got to wake up every day and decide that today I'm going to be just a little bit better than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to be a little better still. And if you can do that every day of your life, just think of where you're going to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years. And that's why I think Erin and I see that this is a program that's going to give you phenomenal results. I feel like your sales are going to jump dramatically. Would you agree with that, Erin?
Yes, and here's the thing, not only will your sales increase, your sales people, your CSRs, their confidence and comfort level will increase. Because let's face it, asking for the money, giving unexpected bad news, people don't like doing that. So they get uncomfortable. And when you have technicians who are fantastic at their job, also asking them to be this other person, it can be difficult. So let's get them the feedback and get them the tools to make it no big deal, to make it just as an easy as part of their job as the rest of their job, so that they're not unhappy with it, that they can be excited about helping people instead of trying to sell to them.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And a lot of people, and you can detect this whenever you can listen to these sales communication, not presentation, but sales communication. And what we find in this is from the people we're already working with, we're finding where people aren't comfortable selling the product. And we can drill down to what their lack of comfort is, or they just don't see the value. Well, if your salesperson, your technician doesn't see the value, your customer's going to detect it. Would you agree with that? If you were going to buy a new car and that salesperson did not believe in the value of that car, could you tell it?
Oh, absolutely. I experienced this a lot in the 6 years working with seniors, just being able to acknowledge that it was a difficult situation for them didn't change the situation, but being able to relate to them on their level, meeting them where they are, and then presenting the information that I had to share made a huge difference from when I started and I would go in trying to sell them on the idea of hiring me. It was a completely different approach, made me more comfortable, made the relationship, it goes from a one and done service call to a relationship where people are giving you referrals because they can't believe how well you understood them. And that's the type of changes we want to help people make.
That's it. So, Erin, before we end this, what would you tell our listeners? How are they going to get to what I call the bit and turning their business dreams and making their business realities? What would be the advice you would offer them to make this happen?
There's a few things I'll give you the two things that I've been taught that made huge differences for me. And one is getting used to being uncomfortable. And this process will be uncomfortable for some people in the beginning. And my word of advice there is in the beginning, because it's amazing how quickly you can be good and comfortable with something that previously made you uncomfortable. And the second piece of advice was given to me by a business mentor some years ago. And he used to tell me, if the only reason we're not trying to do something new is because we're scared of it, then that's not a good enough reason not to try.
That's it. So, Erin, let's tell people how to get in touch with you, and let's also let them know if you'd like to get in touch with and you want to get to know Erin, to give her a call, set up a meeting, tell them how to email you and how you can set up a call with them, because that way, and there's no charge for this. This is just for them to get to know you. So, tell them how to get in touch with you, Erin.
Sure. My email is Erin, ERIN, at cvccoaching.com. That's the easiest way. Reach out. Tell me some times that work for you. It's usually the easiest way. I'll give you my cell phone number. You're more than welcome to give me a call if you're one of those people who aren't scared to pick up the phone and just dive right in. 847-322-1467. Or you can text me.
There you go. So you can look it up. If you look on the cbccoaching.com website, you'll see Erin. We've got a page up about Erin, gives her background and all that. So she's waiting to hear from you. If she can help you and help you get to a higher level, no matter what type of home service business you're in, then get in touch with her at Erin at cbccoaching.com. She's looking forward to hearing from you. Anything else you want to add before we end this episode, Erin?
I'm just excited to help, and if you're even more curious about it, other ways to use this technology, just give me a call. I'm here to help.
Yep. So this is Jerry Eisenhower with the Chimney and Fireplace Success Network. It's sponsored every week by CBC Coaching. And remember, take a look at our new online educational platform, hundreds of hours of training, and you can try it. It's a no-risk try. You subscribe to it, and within 2 weeks, if you decide that platform does not deliver you value, it's guaranteed. You can cancel your subscription, and we will refund 100% of your first month subscription costs, and no questions asked. But I think that if you take a look at this, you're going to find that this is the process that's going to start your people right and move them to a higher level in short order. So from that point, from myself and from Erin, we appreciate you joining us today, and we'll look forward to talking to you in the future. Let us know. My name is Jerry. It's Jerry Eisenhower. If you want to talk to me, it's Jerry at cbccoaching.com. Check us out on the web. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on our YouTube channels, and we'll look forward to helping you turn your business dreams into your business realities. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for joining us here each week at the Chimney and Fireplace Success Network, sponsored by CVC Coaching, providing you the coaching and educational outreach services you need to move to your dream destination in business.